Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adriel, and I am currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. Last episode, I basically wrapped up the month of May, but before I talk about June, I do want to talk about the dreams I had in May because they play a very important role in this story. So, in my first dream, I don't know how this came about, but the Oklahoma Thunder had a day party. And for some odd reason, I was involved. I don't know how, but I was like some type of coordinator or whatever. But I was involved with the party. And because I was involved with the party, I had somewhat of a say or some type of authority to invite who I wanted to invite. And when it came to the invitation, this day party was a strictly invite only type of party, and no one could bring a plus one. So if I invited someone, they were the only ones that were allowed to come. Those people that I invited could not bring a plus one. So that was like the standard for the party. So I'm at the party. The DJ's playing the music. There's a pool. I see the basketball players at the miniature golf. I see my friends in the dream. I don't know who these people are, but they're my friends. They're there as well. I'm just like patrolling the party to see if everything is going as planned. Now, for some odd reason, in the dream, I invited Brandon. I think we kind of like knew each other from school. That's how I invited him or whatever. But that was how it went. Like I knew Brandon, and because I knew him, I invited him. So I'm patrolling the party, and as I'm patrolling the party, I stand at the section of where my friends were. And as I'm standing there, I'm looking at the gate. I'm looking at the gate of people coming into the party. When I look at the gate, I see Brandon. And I see two girls that Brandon was friends with in real life. Now I see them and I'm like, why did he bring them with him? Like, it's an invite only type of event. Like, they're not going to come in because they don't have an invitation. He was never allowed to have a plus one or two. So those two girls are not going to come in. I'm looking at the gate. Brandon comes in and those two girls come in. I'm like, wait, what? Now, security was at the gate, but for some reason, the security allowed all of them to come in. So I'm just like, wait, what is going on? Like, why would he do that? I gave him the invitation. He was not supposed to bring a plus one or a plus two. He brought them and they were able to get through the gate. I just remember becoming a little bit annoyed. So when they come in, they come close to my section with my friends. But here's the thing with these two girls, they seem to be very protective of Brandon. Like they were isolating him. They didn't want him to be with anyone else. Like they didn't want him to mingle with anyone else in the event, which was fine. It was okay with me. He got his invite or whatever. So the music is playing. Me and my friends in the dream were just enjoying the music, and one of the friends of Brandon is dancing, and I'm kind of like making fun of her for dancing, and then she just looks at me giving me this like bad eye or whatever. So the next thing you know, I decide, let me go to the bathroom because I wanted to use the bathroom. I go into the bathroom. As I'm walking, people are just going into the toilets, shutting the door, shutting the door. I'm like, man, there's no available toilet here. So I walk all the way to the end of the restroom. When I walked to the end, there was a section. There was a section where there was a mirror, there was a sink, there was a tissue stand or whatever. And the girl I was making fun of, that was Brandon's friend, she was standing right there getting her makeup done. Right before I got into the bathroom, she stops me. And this is what she says to me. She says, "How do you know Brandon?" And in the dream, I said, we took a class together. She was like, "What class?" I was like, well, we took marketing. I think we took a, did we not? And then this is what she says to me. She stops me in my tracks and says, "Leave Brandon alone." I was like, excuse me. She was like, leave Brandon alone. And and I was just kind of confused, like, why is she trying to like boss me around not to talk? The next thing you know, she has this meltdown. She just starts crying. Leave Brandon alone. Like, I've been trying to get him to notice me all these years, and I'm just doing all this stuff for him. Please leave him alone. And I'm just looking at her like, oh my goodness. Like, sorry, So I start hugging her in the dream, like, okay, if you want me to leave Brandon alone, I'll leave him alone. Okay. Like, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be fine. In my head, I'm like, this girl's crazy. Like, it's gonna be fine. If you don't want me to talk to Brandon, I won't talk to him. So after that whole situation, I decided not to use the bathroom anymore because I'm like, this girl is weird. So I'm walking back out of the restroom. As I'm walking back out, there are people going into the toilet, and someone says A for apple, right? And then as I'm walking, I say A for Adriel. The other friend walks into the toilet and says, under her breath, as she's in the toilet, and I'm passing by, she says A for dumb. So I stepped back and I said to her, "What did you say?" And then she opens up, her toilet section, and she starts yelling at me. She wanted to fight me. She starts saying I should leave Brandon alone. And in my head, I'm like, what's up? What's up with people and me and Brandon? Like, what's the issue? She just starts yelling at me. I should leave Brandon alone, leave him alone, leave him alone, leave him alone. The friend that was all the way at the back hears the second friend say, leave Brandon alone, and she automatically, you know, processes it in her mind that that second friend likes Brandon as well. So she just starts coming out and starts saying, leave Brandon alone, to the second friend. The second friend starts fighting the first friend that, no, you leave Brandon alone. So they just start fighting. And I'm like, you know what? Let me leave. So I leave the bathroom. I leave the restroom. And that was the end of the dream. So I remember waking up just thinking to myself, this is the second time I'm having a dream that people are telling me to leave Brandon alone. Now, mind you, in these dreams, I'm not really interacting with Brandon. So, but these people that he's friends with or whatever, they have a problem of me being in his vicinity. Like, they have a big issue. I don't know why. So at this point, I remember just thinking to myself, okay, God is telling me that Brandon is my spouse. And I'm having dreams of people telling me, yelling at me basically, to leave him alone. I think the enemy wants to come against this union. But why? Like, why? Because in my mind it's like, what's the big deal about marriage? Because everybody gets married every day. Why would the enemy try to purposely attack the union? I don't get it. You know. Now the second dream I had was, in this dream, I am dating Nami again. Now, as I'm dating him, he decides to introduce me to his parents. So I meet his mom, I meet his dad, I meet everybody. Now, here's the thing though about meeting his parents. The house that I met his parents in was very, very similar to my house in New Jersey. So it was very, very weird that that was going on. So he introduced me to his parents. Now, as I'm in the house and he's introduced me to his parents, Brandon walks past and he says, "Oh, nice to meet you." And then the same thing happens to me that happened the first time. After Brandon greets me, I'm telling myself in my head, I want to be with Brandon. I don't want to be with Nami. Brandon is who I want to be with. Like, I'm just having these thoughts of, I want to be with Brandon. I don't want to be with Nami. Very similar to the first dream. It was like this dream was the part two of that other dream. So I'm waking up. I'm like, why am I having a second dream that Nami's my boyfriend or I'm with Nami or whatever, when God is revealing to me that Brandon is my spouse? I just thought that it was kind of weird. But here's the thing, y'all. These two dreams play a very crucial role in this entire story. So I am going to end the episode here. Next episode, I am going to talk about the month of June. And yeah, so if you are liking an unlikely story, if you have any question, that's another thing I want to say. If you have any question, just leave it in the comment section. Yeah, just leave it in the comment section. So until next time, y'all.